Hello, everybody. This is Mia Deneen, and this is Thoughts from the Prayer Closet. Today, our lesson is going to be coming from John chapter 5, verses 1 through 8. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit of it for you. Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem to attend a feast. There was a pool of water, and the pool was surrounded by porches, and under those porches lay people with a myriad of different diseases: paralyzed, invalid, blind, lame, a myriad of different diseases. And the reason why they were laying at this pool is because ever so often there was a miracle from heaven that happened at this pool, whereas the water was stirred, and whoever was the first person into the water after the water was stirred would receive healing. So for that reason, people flocked to this pool, and they were just lying around, just waiting for the water to be stirred. So Jesus comes to this pool, and he spots a particular man who had been an invalid for 38 years. 38 years. And he goes to the man and he asks him a peculiar question. He says, "Do you want to get well?" And the man responds to him by saying, "Sir, I have no one to come and help me when the water is stirred. And while I'm trying to get in, someone else goes in ahead of me." And Jesus responds to the man by saying, "Arise, pick up your mat, and walk." Let's talk about this for a minute. I know that there are some of you out there that have a vision that you are just lying on. There's a vision in your heart from God. There is a talent, there's a gift, there's a book, there's a business, there's a testimony, there's a dance. There is something that God is calling you to do, and you're not doing it because, just like these people at this pool at Bethsaida, you're waiting. You're waiting for some particular situation to occur so that you can start what it is that God has placed in your heart. This man had been an invalid for 38 years. And so Jesus goes up to him and asks a very peculiar question. He says, "Do you want to get well?" And it would seem just a very obvious question that the man would say, "Of course, I'm sitting here at this pool. I've been an invalid for 38 years. Of course, I want to get well." But that was not the man's answer. The man said, "Sir, I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. And while I'm trying to get in, someone else goes in ahead of me." So basically, he gives Jesus a list of excuses. He says, number one, I don't have what other people have. I don't have anybody to help me get into the pool. Other people have their friends, their family to help them get into the pool first. I don't. Second thing he says is, when I'm trying to get in, someone else gets in ahead of me. So he's saying the world ain't fair. The situation is against me. I think that for someone out there tonight, this sounds very familiar. We always have our excuses. And sometimes we're just waiting. We're lying around for this perfect situation, for all of our situations to line up, for everything to line up and be perfect before we step out and do what God is asking us to do. However, if we wait till this perfect situation happens, where's the faith? Where's the believing that God is going to do what he says he's going to do in your life, regardless of the situation? And so Jesus answers this man with 3 commands. He says, first, arise, get up. The second thing he says is pick up your mat. And the third thing he says is walk. Let's talk about that just very briefly. Arise. There are always going to be obstacles that we are going to have to arise over. We're going to have to rise above. Some people think they're too old, they're too young, they don't have enough money. There's always going to be things that the enemy is going to put in your path so you can say, this is my waiting time. I'll sit like this invalid and wait for the water to move. I'll wait for that perfect situation. But God is saying, rise above that. God is saying, I've given you something to do, and I have not asked you to sit on it. I've asked you to move forward. The second thing that Jesus tells this man is to pick up your mat. Whatever that thing you're lying on is, pick it up. Those excuses, that situation that just doesn't seem to change, the fact that you don't have any money, the fact that you can't see all the details laid out for you, the fact that you don't have a plan, maybe the fact that you're not as good as you think you should be, or maybe you're insecure, maybe you see everybody else as better than you, more equipped, more resourceful than you. I need you to believe today that you can pick those things up. Stop waiting. Stand on your feet. Pick up that mat. Pick up that thing that you're lying on, because it's time to move forward. And the third thing that God tells this man to do in the scriptures is walk. Just put one foot in front of the other. God is not asking you to work out all the details, but he wants you in faith to move forward. He's going to be there in your tomorrow, I promise you. I'm not telling you something that I have heard about. I'm telling you something that I know. I'm 38 years old, and I think that in certain ways I've been an invalid all my life, just waiting, knowing that God has placed a dream, a vision, a song, a ministry in my heart, and I've just been waiting on it, waiting on this perfect situation. And I was about to let it pass me by, but for the grace of God, I am moving forward today because God has said move forward, not worrying about the money, not worrying about the resources, not worrying about the fact that I feel insecure and I feel inept. God has blessed me with something, and he wants it to get out in the world. It's not about me. It's all about him. And as you meditate on John chapter 5, verses 1 through 8 this week, I know that God will be speaking to your heart about those things that he's placed in you and those things that it's time to come out. Arise, pick up your mat, and walk. God bless you.